I started my career on the customer side of things, pretty much focused on the infrastructure stack. At the time, I was a VMware administrator in a really large environment, and I was actually taking a severance package to move on and try something new, but I wasn't sure what that new thing was going to be yet. One of the vendors I worked with came to me one day and said, "Melissa, have you ever thought about being a systems engineer?" And the truth is I hadn't. It had never really occurred to me. But once he said that, I really started thinking about it, and I met with him and I met with several systems engineers in the companies, and I decided to go down that path, and that actually took me into the vendor world and ultimately to Veeam. So I would say new opportunities are everywhere, and sometimes they come out of left field, and don't be afraid to try something new.
If I go back 20 years, I got a key piece of advice. I remember the room I was sitting in. I remember the chair I was sitting in. A career mentor to me said, "Danny, don't think of yourself as a specialist." At the time, I was heads down in security. All I cared about was security. I was a specialist in security, and I was proud of that fact. But he said to me, "Don't think of yourself as a specialist. You need to think of yourself as an athlete." And that kicked off over the next 5 years. I went from a systems engineer, I went into services, I went into development, I went into product management, I went into strategy. Over the next 6 years, I learned many different areas of the business. And I am so grateful for that single piece of advice because it gave me the breadth of understanding, frankly, of what a business needed. If I hadn't been sitting in that chair on that day with that mentor, I wouldn't be sitting here today.